Good day and welcome to this edition of Saints Sports. My name is Dominic Papa, and only one sport to talk about right now at the college, and that is, of course, the St. Clair College Saints football team. They made their debut last week at Acumen Stadium, a very convincing victory over the Quinte Skyhawks, 82-0. Outstanding outing for the Saints. Quinte, obviously, a second-year team, still going through some growing pains, but the Saints, despite a lot of new faces in the lineup, really looked extremely sharp and ready to go. They'll be tested a lot better this week, I'm sure, as the Hamilton Hurricanes will come into town. Game time will be at 7 p.m., and that's on Saturday evening, this August 20th. Look forward to that game, that's for sure. Joining us on the show is the head coach of the Hamilton Hurricanes, Jason Hayes. Are you there with us, Coach Hayes?
Hi, how are you, Dom?
I'm doing well, thank you, and I really appreciate you giving us some time here today. And you're coming off a 24-0 win against the GTA Grizzlies on the road. A good victory to start the year for your team. Tell us a little bit about the game and what you liked about your team that day.
Yeah, it was, any win in this league, we'll take it. And the defense, like early in the season for most teams, our D played great. I think we held them to under 50 yards of offense or something like that. So lots to clean up. We had 20 penalties and 7 fumbles. So that probably limited our offensive output. We're pleased to get out of there relatively healthy and moving on to week 2.
Yeah, and when you come into the campaign, you're a veteran coach in this league, Coach Hayes. You know what it takes. You've won, and you know what the caliber of player that's needed. When you looked at your roster this year, players coming back, the new players coming in, do you have a feel where this team can go?
Yeah, I had to do because I was off the 1 year and came back, and last year didn't really do a great job identifying, the team direction and leaders and stuff like that. So I really spent a lot of the time in the winter and spring kind of identifying culture builders, guys that really wanted to win for the Hurricanes and not necessarily get individual success, but guys that I could lean on. So really formed a good leadership committee that way. And we were fortunate with our support staff and our executive that we had our first kind of U Sport or pro training camp where we had an overnight training camp and multiple practices and meetings and grew the team that way. So I think our team culture is miles ahead of anywhere I've seen it in my tenure. So now it's just putting some wins together just to get some results on the field.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of the field, one good thing that's been put in place, I'm really excited for you on this one, Coach, because I know the St. Clair Saints, formerly the Fratmen, for years we're looking for a good home field. Hamilton was as well. They finally will be playing all of their games in Hamilton. What does that mean to you and the club?
Yeah, even though we've got players from Toronto to London and Niagara and that, we're still the Hamilton Hurricanes, and we've I played my days at Rivalry Stadium, and we had a little bit of time at Tim Hortons Field, but we're happy to be back there this year. All 4 of our home games and playoffs will be at Tim Hortons Field, and it feels a little different when you're there. Even the road teams just kind of say how classy of a field it is, and it's just nice to have that as back in our mix. So.
Yeah, I think it's great, and I think it's very important to a program to say this is our home field. This is where we know we'll be playing our games. You were having to go to Brantford to play your home games in recent times, but pretty important to the guys to say this is the home field, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. They know we had 4 or 5 spring practices there. Got them used to, hey guys, we're in the CFL road team locker room. This is our homes for this season, and it's just a nice setup. The guys get to walk out through the tunnel, and although I've got to do it a number of times. I'm glad that this group gets to do it in front of their friends and family. It's a special time.
I get to talk to Coach Lachance quite a bit throughout the campaign, and I probably drive him crazy actually by the time the end of the year. But just the same, he always accommodates me, and I really am impressed by Coach Lachance and his respect that he has for you. Obviously, it's the two of you know each other very well through your football years, and I just was really impressed at how Coach Lachance speaks about you and the Hamilton program. What is it about, I guess, you and the program that I guess makes it special?
Yeah, I think for me, when I kind of came on, I wanted my coaching staff to be like, we're not going to have any down years. So if we happen to have a 4-4 team or a 3-5 team, we're still going to be a hard out for any team in the playoffs. So that was always kind of our gritty Hamilton mentality. And the program grew, and we got more talented, and I got better assistant coaches, and it just kept feeding itself. So Windsor is the standard, or St. Clair is the standard in the league. They've done it for a decade without missing a beat. We've had a little bit of downtime the last few years, and until you kind of knock them off, that's the standard that you're getting to. Like Mike's team is 7-1 or 8-0 every year, so that's the bar. That's the one we're chasing, and until we knock them off, regular season and postseason, it's us chasing them.
Yeah, and that's fine. But what's really great about it, it's the rivalry that has developed between Hamilton and Windsor. A lot of times it kind of changes, but it seems as though Hamilton and Windsor have always had that passion to play against each other, and it was a game that they probably marked on their schedules that this is the game that we got to bring our best game. What is it about Hamilton and Windsor and that rivalry that creates the intensity?
I think any little carryover of guys from the year before. Mike and I have talked about this. We generally know we're going to play each other 3 times in a season. As much as they're heated, I'm sure I've barked over at Mike or Mike Morency, and he's probably done the same. And you're not thrilled to see the other team's star players jog into the end zone. But after the game, we are respectful to the league and each other, kind of going like, hey, you got a good squad, I'll see you in 4 weeks. Or you got a great squad, I'll see you in 2 weeks, and I'm getting you then. It's painful when you're on the side of the loss, but you do know that the intensity is so strong. It just takes one good game and you're back on top in the rivalry. So we just want that sooner than later.
I like that, Coach. It's not just the chirping; it's a little bit of the showmanship and things, or the showing off, like you said, jogging into the end zone, things like that. I think that's awesome. Speaking of games, well, you're here this Saturday, and I know we're excited about it, and always look forward to a good Hamilton Hurricane team coming in. I know you can't go into a lot of details, but I'm sure you took a look at some of the film of the game last week. St. Clair seems to be playing at a high level already. What's going to be key for your club here?
Yeah, well, just looking at what we can do is we got to limit the penalties and turnovers. They're just so explosive on offense and aggressive on D that if you give them a short field, you can be down 21-0 in a hurry. So like us kind of just to relax into the game. It's going to be a night game. It'll be loud. We'll be okay, punting the first few times if need be, but we got to come out and match their intensity and enthusiasm. We feel our ability to, run the ball and stop the run is going to be imperative for us to get off to the fast start that we want to.
All right. Good stuff, Coach. Really appreciate your time here today, and always a pleasure to talk with you. Have a safe journey down here. I'll look forward to seeing you at the field, and certainly wish you the best of luck all season long.
You got it, Tom. Thanks for having me on, and I guess we'll see you on Saturday afternoon sometime.
Absolutely. That's the hardworking coach of the Hamilton Hurricanes, Jason Hayes, helping us out here. Speaking of the Hurricanes, let's take a look at the game this Saturday. Of course, second home game of the season for the Saints. And, I think this could be a great game. These are two teams that usually contend They're playoff bound teams each and every year. If I can get my producer to bring up the information for you, we'll get that up. There we go. It's Saturday, August 20th. The football Saints and the Hamilton Hurricanes, 7 p.m. will be kickoff time. And of course, we'll have the pregame show starting at about 6:50 p.m., getting you set up for the game. We're going to continue on here on the Saints Sports Show. We're going to tap into one of the players. The Saints scored a lot of points last week, a lot of great plays, some nice passing plays. But the one touchdown that certainly stood out compared to all the others was the interception put together by London Dawson, and he just rambled into the end zone. It was a great sight to see. We have the man, London Dawson, joining us on the show today. Thanks for doing this with London. Yeah, we'll wave, London. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me, Dom.
Yeah, it's great to have you on, and you could just feel the excitement when you bowled your way into that end zone, London. What do you remember on that play, the interception, and just getting into the opening and running in?
Honestly, Mertz drew up a nice little blitz for me. Didn't really pan out like that. I bumped into the running back, and I look up, and ball's coming my way. And, man, I was just happy to have a convoy of blockers. It was probably the easiest touchdown I've had. It was good. It was a great time, honestly.
Yeah, it looked awesome, and seeing you in that end zone celebrating was just great excitement for sure. Coach Hayes actually just mentioned the defense in our chat with him, and he mentioned the pressure that the Saints defense put on Quinty. Is that the plan this year? Pressure, and boy, oh boy, was the defense ever rock solid against Quinty. What is the plan there, London?
Honestly, I guess like the plan would just be like, however it's drawn up, run it to the best of our ability. Run it fast. If you make a mistake, they always say make it fast. Our coaches are heavy on, don't hang your head. Make your mistake, make it fast, make it hard, and then you'll get coached up afterward. And you might make a mistake that ends up being probably the play of your career. Who knows?
Well, you made one already. Maybe, why stop there, though? Hopefully there's more for you, London. That's for sure. Second-year player here. Of course, I don't even want to talk about last year. We know how it ended. Very painful. It's early, I know, London, but the defense compared to last year, is there a big difference?
Like physicality wise and like aggression wise, like I think we bring the same intensity. Like there's a lot of new faces, and I'd like size wise maybe we're different. Like I'd say that for sure, but we definitely have the same like meta. Like we're definitely the same energy and like everything going forward. Like I think there's a lot of similarities, and like it's hard to even like look at the differences, but I think one difference would be our line. I guess our D line is definitely we got a lot of size this year. We got a lot of fast guys. We got Tynan, he's a beast. Keon's a beast. Octo, Lorenzo, our backups come in. They're on fire. Like our team all around, we're a really good cohesive unit.
Yeah, a lot of depth there. That's for sure. Talk to me about your role now, being a second-year guy. Of course, Coach Morency oversees the defensive side of the ball. Your role, I would imagine you're taking on more of a leadership role. Also, just getting to play every day, every down, even if it gets to that point. What kind of goals have you set for yourself, London?
My goals are every time. Well, as a collective goal, our goals are to win games and like win everything and just go big. But like my personal goal is every time I touch that field, every play, any given down, something could happen. So I look at it like before in my career, like I'll be honest, I looked at special teams as a demotion, but now I realize that like being on specials is a promotion, and being on specials and the best team in the nation, it's a promotion. And I love it. Every play I'm on specials, it's great opportunity to go hit somebody, go block somebody, spring our boys for a touchdown. So my goal is to just be active in every play, be as active as I can in every play.
What about what's it mean to the players, London, playing you're part of a college scenario now. You're not just a junior football team. You're also part of a college scenario, and obviously an outstanding stadium. What's that like for you guys, and how does it help?
We're just really like grateful for the facilities. Like saying the college has been really like on our side and like just helped us like immensely. So it's huge. Honestly, it's the hugest thing I've ever been a part of football wise. Played on grass my whole life. Like even having the turf is amazing, but what's behind it, like the stadium, even the baseball, the tennis center, like it is incredible. Like I walk in and I have goosebumps every time. Like just going to practice, not even the games. Like
Well, you're pretty incredible too, London. That's for sure. So you're making it a special place. I hope we get to watch you ramble into that end zone a few more times before this is all said and done. But big game Saturday. We'll be watching number 45 for sure, and hopefully good things will follow there. Okay.
amen. Thanks, Dom.
All right, that's London Dawson, a pretty special guy, that's for sure, on this Saints football team. Speaking of special guys, OFC Player of the Week was announced, and lo and behold, when you put up 82 points, it's probably going to be one of your players. And indeed, the Saints were honored to have the Player of the Week introduced and named, and that was the quarterback, Andrew Brush, wears number 3 jersey. He didn't play a lot. Coach Lachance was able to get everybody in the game, but you could see his numbers there when he did play. Pretty impressive, that's for sure. And we congratulate Andrew Brush for being named the OFC Player of the Week. Of course, we are going to check in with the head coach of the St. Clair College Saints, as we do each week here on Saint Sports. Head coach Mike Lachance joins us. Good day to you, Coach Lachance.
Hey, Dom, how are you doing?
I'm doing okay. I'm excited. I think we're gonna have a good game on our hands Saturday. I always think Hamilton comes in prepared. Coach Hayes, I know you have a lot of respect for him. He works hard with his program. I think the fans are going to see a pretty good OFC football game Saturday, Coach.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime Hamilton and Windsor strap it up, it doesn't matter where it's at or what field we play on, or whether it's home or away. It's always a good competition, that's for sure.
Talk to me about 82-0, Coach. The good thing about it, I guess, you got everybody in the game. That's always a nice thing. But we talked about this over the years. Actually, it's great to get everybody in, but sometimes in the long run it may hurt you, as some of your starters don't get the playing time maybe they need. Hopefully that's not going to be the case here. Hopefully the guys are going to be able to play full games. But here was another game where you had to really coach and make sure, one, you didn't embarrass Quinty, and two, that you did get the players in.
Yeah, it's tough. There's a fine line between looking out for the best interest of the league and looking out for the best interest of your own team. And sometimes those don't counteract. Sometimes they play hand in hand. It's hard. It's a balancing act as a coach. And like you said, you try to get your starters enough time to get them going, especially with Andrew. You showed that he was player of the week, and he was good when he was in there, but he wasn't in enough to get enough game reps. So you're trying to get people reps that don't necessarily have them. When you have 49 new players on the team, you want to get a lot of those guys reps to be able to tell what they could do. Some of the guys who have been here for 4 or 5 years, I kind of know what they could do, and it's not as important. But the newer guys on the team, yeah, you got to get reps too, and at the same time manage the kind of league perception at the same time.
Yeah, let's take a look at some of the numbers here, Coach. We'll put up a sheet here. 7 touchdowns thrown. Of course, Andrew threw 3 of them. Rushing yards was at a $120, and it was Carl Fabre with 48 of those yards. Receiving yards, spread the ball around pretty nicely. No surprise, though, that Dante Lewis and Jared Hayes Williams leading the attack there. The offense, Coach, pretty scary when you're the opponent, because you've got a lot of weapons this year, and you've got some good size on the line this year. It seems like Andrew and the other quarterbacks had pretty good time to set up to throw a good ball. How well did the offense play?
It played really well, and I think actually I'll point out, I don't think the stats there are accurate. We went over 220 yards rushing, so we were over 5 for the game. That was one of our goals. Our goals every game are 300 passing, 200 rushing, and we hit those numbers with playing 74 people. So every running back had touches. We got a whole bunch of receivers involved in the game with a lot of touches. Some guys their first either touches or touchdowns, which is cool. All 11 offensive linemen played significant minutes. So it's one of those things where you're trying to balance it out. And on top of it, you have 4 quarterbacks dress at home, because we dressed everybody and all 4 quarterbacks threw a touchdown. In all my years of coaching football, I don't think I've ever even heard of that, let alone experienced it live. But it was pretty cool to have everybody involved like that. You don't get to do it very often. And while those big crooked number scores are not always great for the fans, especially in the fourth quarter, early in the season, it's not the worst thing in the world. So you feel good about it as a coach to see everybody get rewarded for a lot of hard camp work. And you know that there's tough battles ahead with Hamilton and London on the horizon.
Yeah, while the offense was very sharp, I would say, how great was it to watch London ramble into that end zone, Coach, after that interception? And talk about a young man that really brings a lot of spirit to the team.
Yeah, well, if you even come to any practice, he'll stand out, not just because he's a big guy, but he's a real jovial guy. He's a fun guy to be around, but he knows when it's time to be serious, he's serious. We've moved him around a lot of positions, so he's learned a lot. Last year, he was a running back and kind of a blocker. We dabbled with him moving to defensive line. Coach Morency's playing a linebacker now, and he's a real athletic guy for a big guy. He moves around really well. He's got pretty good instincts, and you see the hands that he has on the interception and the athleticism when he's running for a touchdown. One of those guys that Coach Morency will just find a role for. And when you have an attitude like that, we love him on special teams, and you just see him on an interview for 5 or 10 minutes. And if you don't like that guy, I don't know where your heart is, but if you're not cheering for that guy, I don't know what you want out of a football player.
Yeah, I bring it up because the reaction on the bench was outstanding when he carried that and crossed that goal line. I mean, the whole team was up and just jumping up and down. Obviously, this guy's a team favorite.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a guy that everybody likes. Everybody wants to be around, gravitates to. Like I said, a real likable guy and a heck of a football player. So happy to have him in the green and yellow. Yeah,
absolutely. Let's talk about the week of practice, Coach. How you feel it's gone up to this point? I know you still got a little bit of time before the games Saturday, but practice is always a very important element to it all. And I know you put a lot of work into the practices to get these guys ready. How has the practices gone this week so far?
It's competitive. I mean, like you said, you watch the defense I'm real excited when I watch the defense in games, because I don't have to be the guy calling plays against it. It's a tough defense to play against them. I think they would say the same thing with our offense, that we do some things that are just a little bit different with the big offensive line and the way that we're able to spread people out with the athletes we have at receiver. So I think iron sharpens iron in this case, and it's a tough battle every time we play in practice. And Coach Morency and myself have preached for 2 decades now with the Fratman and now with the Saints that every day is a day to be competitive, and every day is a day to make your teammates better by really pushing them. And I think we do that on a day-to-day basis, especially Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We really battle it out. And it shows on game day. Everybody's excited on game day to just put it on the line against somebody with a different color helmet on.
Competition is a good thing, Coach. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your opponent. Again, very well coached team here in Coach Hayes. He'll have his guys ready, no doubt about it. I'm sure you've looked at some of the video against GTA last week. What did you see, and then what do you concern your guys with that Hamilton brings to the table?
Well, they're a very physical team. Like you said, they're well coached. They do a lot of the little things right, but physicality is something that Coach Hayes' teams always have. They always seem to play physical on offense, defense, and special teams, regardless of position. And I saw his part of the interview, and I couldn't echo that sentiment anymore, that you want to preach to your team on any given year that you want to be that pain in the ass team to play against. You want to be the gritty team, regardless of your record. You could be 8-0, you could be 4-4, but you want to be a team that no one wants to play in the playoffs, because you're never going to be an easy out. Win or lose, you're never going to be an easy out. His teams are never an easy out in the regular season or the playoffs, and it's going to be a battle. And I keep telling guys that they're going to do a lot of little things right, but more than anything, they're going to battle you. They're going to fight you, and it doesn't matter what the score is. And I don't mean fight in the literal sense, but I mean they're going to battle you every down. And it doesn't matter if you're up 20 or you're down 20 or you're tied in the fourth quarter. It's going to be the same grit on every play. So it's going to be a 4-quarter war.
I know it's only week 2, coach, and certainly you don't win a championship this early in the schedule. And I know you've talked to me about how this team is starting at 1 point right now, and by the end of the year you expect it to be that much higher, the point of their play. So it's kind of like a work in progress, if you will. And despite it only being week 2 here, I think this is an extremely important game for both the Saints and the Hurricanes. I mean, we've always talked about how the Hurricanes and the Saints are always in a playoff hunt and could be a playoff position. The outcome of this game could factor in. Who knows? But I'd say this is a game that I think everyone should treat as an important contest here.
Well, I always tell my guys the most important game is the next one on the roster coming up. So that's no different this week. But like you said, Hamilton's usually a measuring stick type of game, and I think they view us very much the same. So we're gonna get out there and go chest to chest and helmet to helmet and see who's the best team in week 2. Now that doesn't pile up to a hill of beans really when it's all said and done, because we'll see them again in the playoffs or we'll face London in the playoffs, whatever the case may be. And it's going to be who's the best at the end of the year. I don't think we're anywhere near what we're going to be in week 8 as we are right now. I think we had a really good start to the season, probably better than I expected with all the new faces, but we made a ton of mistakes, and we're going to get so much better. I'm excited to watch the development of this team.
With that said, Coach, do you tinker with your lineup? Is it still? I mean, I know it's week 2 of the schedule. Are you still experimenting?
Yeah, absolutely. Every day is a competition for these guys. So if you were a starter in game 1, you better earn it for the next 4 days in practice, or you're not going to be a starter in game 2. But we're still bringing in guys. I'm still heavily recruiting. I'm not giving up on that until the recruiting deadline in mid-September. I'm going to try to bring as much talent as I can. And I owe that to St. Clair College. I owe it to the 80 guys on our roster right now and our 16 coaches. If I stop recruiting now, it means I'm complacent, and that's not really my personality.
Just last quick question here, Coach, and we'll let you get going, take care of business. I've covered the team for 35 years, something like that. I covered you as a player. I have to tell you, I think it's great. I love it already, but it was a little strange to see the Saints come out in that green and gold, not the black and gold that we've seen for so many years. You even look good in the green. I have to tell you, Coach, you dress up well there.
Yeah, it's different. I think I said it before, but sometimes change is inevitable, and sometimes it's really good. And in this case, it's probably both. We knew that the name change was something that was going to happen. It was coming on the horizon. It probably hit us a little faster than we expected, but it's not a bad thing. I want people to really wrap their arms around it. I think our team, the kids, were super excited about it, to be honest with you. It's the old guys like us that are stuck in the old ways, and you have to remind yourself that sometimes changes for a purpose, and the purpose of this is to include us in the rest of the athletic department at such a wonderful school. And really, we feel welcome in the athletic department more than ever, because we share the same name and we're wearing the same brand. And it's an awesome privilege and an awesome responsibility for these guys. And I tell them now, we no longer just represent a club, we no longer just represent a city, but we represent an institution like St. Clair College, and that should put the importance on it right there.
Absolutely, 100%. One guy that loves it for sure, though, is Coach Morency, because those are the Packers colors. I'm sure he's already talked about it, right?
He got his way one way or the other. We're wearing black and gold, or the Packer green and yellow, right?
Yeah, he loves that green and gold, that's for sure.
As long as he keeps dialing up those blitzes, Dom, I'm happy. I don't care what colors we wear.
Absolutely, yeah. No. He understands it like you do, Coach, that's for sure. Always great to talk to you, Coach. Congrats on win number 1. Hopefully win number 2 coming up this Saturday. It's going to be a fun game. Hopefully we get another good crowd there. We had a good crowd in week 1. And I'll look forward to talking to you at the field again, that's for sure. So
that's awesome. Thanks, Dom. I appreciate it.
All right, that's head coach Mike Lachance of the St. Clair Saints. His team getting ready for a good contest coming this Saturday, week number 2 of the OFC schedule. Game time will be at 7 p.m. Don't forget, folks, there's a tailgate party right behind the actual stadium where the sand volleyball courts are. The Saints, again, doing it up really nice. Bring it up for me, Evan, if you can. But the tailgate party right behind the stadium, and they've got everything: chicken wings, burgers, dogs. There's a beer garden there. So all your needs to get ready for a great football game. The St. Clair College Saints are taking care of it. And the gates will open at 5:00 for that. So, you can get your food in, have a couple of drinks, and then settle in to watch a great football game for sure. Of course, tickets, you can see the prices. General admission, $15. Children's 5 to 12, the price there. Seniors get a discount. Children under 5 get in for free. So, again, very reasonably priced for great entertainment, that's for sure. And we're expecting more of the St. Clair College students to be around for this game as well. So it should be a good crowd. It's going to be a fun environment, that is for sure. That's it. That's this edition of Saints Sports. We'll be back again next week. We'll review week number 2 with Coach Lachance and some other guests. And we'll continue on following the Saints throughout the season. Check the Saints Sports out if you want. Go to saintsathletics.ca. All the information pertaining to the St. Clair College Sports Department on that site, and a really good site to follow throughout the year. On behalf of everybody here at We Digital Productions, my name is Dominic Papa. Thank you for tuning in. Check you out again next week. Until then, take care. Stay safe, everybody.